Hello, this is Unknown Voidcat, and welcome to my first video on Factorio. Factorio is a game that I really liked when I played it on my own before, though I didn't get very far. I think I only got to making, trains. This was I think it was also a long time ago. I think this was before they even released the Space Age DLC, which I don't have, unfortunately. But I can still have fun without it. But I got to trains. I think I made random stuff using trains, and that's all I got to. I never made anything past that. And the reason why is because the reason why I never finished a lot of games on my own. Sometimes, you ever have this happen to you where you're playing a game and then you're getting really far, you're having so much fun playing that game, you play it for multiple days in a row, and then you stop playing for one day because you have to do something else, and then instead of going back to playing that game the next day after, you're like, I'm gonna play something else, and then you never go back to the original game, and then by the time you think of going back to the game, it's been so long that you forgot what you're doing in the game. You're like, I don't want to go back into a playthrough that's already it's already been months since I played. I want to go in the middle of a playthrough months ago. Let me just restart. And then you never beat the game because of that. That's kind of what happened with Factorio. So it's only happened once, because I only played it once. So hopefully if I do a YouTube series on it, and actually play it on YouTube, that's going to motivate me to actually beat the game and make a rocket. Also, another little challenge I want to do for my thing is that when I was playing my first thing, I noticed the enemies, which it could just be that because I didn't get very far, but I noticed the enemies honestly weren't that hard. I had everything at default settings while I was playing, and honestly the enemies were a non-existent threat. I could literally just roll up without even roll up with a single weapon by myself or a vehicle and just demolish all the hives. So they weren't a threat. So what I want to do as a challenge is try bumping up all of these stuff to max level and see if I'll be able to fare with that. So I think these I'll keep to default. Since the minimum time between enemy expansions, I think I'll keep these stuff at default since I don't want to change that. But all the other stuff that makes them stronger, max. See how it goes. What's this? This also is going to say default. So I'm going to keep it instantly at max. Actually, maybe what I'll put that slightly higher. Since, here's the thing. Here's the little spoiler. I've actually technically tried this challenge for 10 minutes. Because what happened is I actually already tried to make this video before. And then immediately as I was playing, I think I played 10, maybe 15 minutes. And then I was getting down a few mines. I didn't do anything crazy. And then I looked and I'm I start shaking my head. I'm like, is this not recording? And I'm like, yep, I never hit the record button, huh? That's cool. And then I just stopped, and because it was already so late and I already spent all that time, I was like, I'll just make the video tomorrow. And that's what I'm doing right now. So technically, I know how big the hives are going to be, so I know it's oh, I didn't put this max. I know that they're crazy in comparison to what the default settings. Let's just go ahead and look at it. If you look at it, these things are humongous. That's a humongous amount of hives. Comparison to when I played on default, when I did my miniature playthrough on my own, not finishing what I did on default, they would barely have one or two, maybe three regular biter hives, no spitter hives, no worms yet. They would start with just no biters. Yet here they start with a million and stuff, a million biters and spitters and everything already. So this might be a challenge, but it'll be fun to try. Plus, even if I have to restart, restarting is actually good for me. Now here, let me explain why. And this is going to take a bit to explain, but so if you look at my channel, for those who've seen some of my previous videos, you see that the videos I have are kind of games you can play in a short amount of time, and very action constantly going on. You see, I played FPL, I played Snurks, I played Potato. These are short, not big playthrough games. They quick roguelikes like that. The only one that's kinda not like that is Darkest Dungeon, which is longer, but it's kind of like still shortened, because even though there is an overarching long-term goal of beating the game and all the bosses, it's kind of split up into little mini missions, because you have to go to like these small dungeons first, and so that kind of makes for perfect segmented videos. And so the reason why those were my first videos I made on channel is because FTL actually wasn't going to be the very first thing I was planning on making this game on, making my channel about. Actually, what I originally wanted to make my very first video be was like strategy games. Like, in fact, my very first video was gonna be Hearts of Iron 4, like modded Hearts of Iron 4. But the reason why I never did it is because my computer just couldn't run it. That's simply what it is. My computer would not handle playing Hearts of Iron 4 modded while simultaneously recording it. Like, that was a little too much for my computer handle. It was gonna, that recording would not go well if I tried doing that. So I had to quickly scrap that idea after I saw what the recording looked like after trying to do it. And so I was like, okay, what's another game that I can, play that isn't like a Paradox game that's gonna like take too much to run and record at the same time? So I'm like, I was looking at roguelikes, but then I was like, because at first, the reason why I didn't play FTL at first is because I actually wasn't really as much into FTL. Like, when I first bought FTL, as I've explained on my FTL videos, I actually never really played FTL on my own very much. Like, not on video. Like, when I first bought it, I played it I think I played like 3 times with the basic ship, 1 time with the other, like some other ship. Like the ship that starts with titanium casing thing. So I played it like a very minuscule amount. And honestly, I was like, it was cool, but I wasn't really that into it as other games. Like, I'm more of a strategy gaming kind of person. So I didn't play it. So that's why it was my first idea. So instead, what I ended up thinking is, you know what? What's like a kind of strategy game that doesn't require much to do? So my first idea after Factorio was, why don't not after Factorio, after Hearts of Iron 4 was, why don't I play Factorio? Why don't I have that be the very first like thing for my channel? It's a perfect like long-term like series kind of thing to do. Well, the reason why I ended up not doing it is I realized I'm not that good at talking and doing something else at the same time, because I've, never made a YouTube video before. That was going to be my very first YouTube videos. So what I essentially mean is, when I tried to do my very first video, when I tried to record videos for Factorio as my very first video on this channel, what it would end up happening is I would literally just mine iron for like 20 minutes in a row, getting distracted by talking. I literally wouldn't be able to do anything. I would just keep doing the exact same tasks. Sometimes I literally just do this, like not even realizing. I would literally just start walking back and forth, and I'm not even realizing I'm doing it because I'm so distracted trying to talk. So when that happened, multiple times, I tried to record a Factorio video multiple times, it just didn't work. I realized, like, this ain't gonna work. Like, this just will not work. There's no way this is gonna happen, because I just cannot, focus playing like a game like this and try to make the conversation. Because the difference between FTL and Factorio when it comes to making a video for me is that, like, FTL is very fast-paced, so you're always talking about something happening in the game. Oh, the ship just shot a missile at me, I gotta dodge it. Oh, I need to go target their shields, I need to target weapons. You're always talking about the game. So even though you're talking, which is, you need to talk because it's a YouTube video, even though you're talking, it's fine because you're talking about the game. And so if you talk about the game, you're always going to be focused on the game. So there's not going to be any, like, you're so busy talking, you don't even realize what's happening in the game. But the problem with Factorio is, like, Factorio is kind of different because, you can't just always talk about what you're doing at Factorio, because there's a lot less action going on. Like, there sometimes you're fighting with, like, the little bugs or whatever. But a lot of times, you might be doing, like, a monotonous task. And a lot of times, or you might be placing, like, 50 mines down and placing, like, 20 conveyor belts for, like, 10 minutes straight. So you can't really talk about that because ain't nobody ain't nobody gonna be listening to you say, okay, so I placed a conveyor belt. And so I placed another conveyor belt. Ooh, gotta place another conveyor belt. Oh, now I'm placing a power line. Ain't nobody gonna listen to that. At least with FTL, you're like at least talking about like the combat going on. There's combat going on with it. With FTL, like, I mean not FTL, with Factorio, there's decent amount of time where there just isn't much conflict, which technically that's not gonna happen as much considering the fact that I put the enemies to max setting, so it's not like when I was playing the game on default setting before, where, you know, there ain't that much going on most times. So the fact that I put everything to max setting will mean there's more action, but even with that, there still is going to be a decent time before the action starts, because these enemies aren't going to start attacking me for a while because there's not that much pollution. So that means I need to be able to like talk about something else while simultaneously still having the ability to do other stuff at the same time. But I realized I just couldn't do that yet, not for my very first video. Like, I hadn't, because I wasn't even used to talking on videos at all, or even making videos, so I realized Factorio just wouldn't cut it. So that's why I did FTL, because FTL, much simpler. You know, you're not like committed to like one big run immediately. You know, you're doing a bunch of small runs. You know, each video can be one run, 1 or 2 runs, depending on how short they are. So this kind of puts you in like it was a much easier thing to like get started, like getting your training wheels on. And then it also, an unintended side effect of that is it made me actually like FTL more. Like I went from like barely ever playing FTL being like, that's a cool game, to like, this is actually a really fun game. Like I literally played 22 videos, maybe 22 videos in a row just playing the starting ship. Like, and not beating the boss. So it took me 22 videos playing the starting Kestrel ship to beat the boss, and I didn't get bored of it, even though like how many hours I spent just with the same ship almost every day, every other day, playing this exact same ship. I didn't get bored of it because it was like actually like quite fun playing it. Like, I underestimated how fun the game could be, and so that was like an unintended side effect. And so like it helped me not only get more used to making videos, because, you know, I got me used to making videos because I'm just having to talk about action. I'm not having to come up with like my own thing yet. So that helped me just get talking, period, even if it's not like me getting used to actually making things up. But now that I've like made all those FTL videos, now I want to come back to Factorio and be like, now that I'm more used to talking on video, I want to like actually try not just talking about the game, but also be able to talk about other things while simultaneously playing the game, and not, you know, getting distracted and getting killed, or doing this, or just mining iron for 10 hours in a row because I don't realize what I'm doing because I'm too busy talking. Because to be honest, to give an example of like how I can be kind of bad at this, I'm the kind of person who it's not even just like a YouTube video thing. I'm the kind of person who I've literally had times in real life where I'll be so distracted talking to somebody, like walking through a store or whatever, that I've run into a pillar. I've straight up, no joke, ran into a pillar before because I can get distracted while talking, and I kind of you lose consciousness of what's currently going on, and that ends up leading to you making some mistakes. So I want to learn to like be able to multitask better and do these 2 separate activities at the same time. That's my eventual goal. And that is one of the secondary reasons of why I chose to like start with super high level insects. Besides the fact that I thought it'd be funnier for a video, I also did it because if I have to restart restart the playthrough multiple times because I died to the insects, it's okay, because the playthrough is already going to probably be messed up and behind because because I'm not used to talking and playing at the same time as well. So I end up just mining iron 10 times in a row. So I already know that the video's already going to be like, the run's already going to be messed up because I'm too distracted talking. So if I have to restart anyway because the bugs kill me, it's fine. You know, it's actually good. It benefits me to restart. It gives me more chances to like get a good start. You know, where I'm actually able to build stuff up without getting busy talking. If that makes sense. So I think it honestly kind of like, it benefits me that way. And so what I want to be able to do, my main goal of what I want to do with this playthrough is to actually, one, always be talking, because that was the other thing. The other thing that would be a problem was not only would I sometimes get so distracted when I was like first making a Factorio video, was my very first video, trying to do that. Not only would I just get distracted because I was talking so much that I'm like just standing still, not actually doing work. I'd also sometimes do the opposite, though, is the problem. I would sometimes just stop talking and completely focus the game, which I also don't want to do, because, you know, ain't nobody want to watch a video where it's just a dude completely silent, just mining stone. They want to have like, you want some kind of conversation, like keep you in the video. You know, it's not like what's an example of like something like, Factorio isn't like a game suited for like no commentary kind of thing. Because for what I mean like for that is like, if you look at a game like various story games, whenever like a game that has like a big story driven kind of game comes out, they'll very quickly be videos that are like full playthrough, no commentary, all endings, you know, kind of thing. And those work because the story is doing the talking. The person making the video doesn't have to do the talking. In fact, there's people who would rather they don't talk because they just want to be able to see the story for themselves without having to buy the game, because they might not have the money to buy the game, or you know, they don't have to spend money on this game. So they would rather just watch somebody play through, and you know, they don't want to and see the game without the person talking, because it's like they're playing the game, because they don't have like the other person like giving commentary on it. They can just see the game in its like raw form. But Factorio doesn't really work for that, because there isn't really a story in Factorio. Like, maybe like there's probably like a hidden lore or something, but there's really like a story. Like, it's like you're some engineer dude or whatever who crash landed on the planet. Like, there isn't this crazy story going on the entire time. Like, I think there's kind of like a story in the tutorial. Like, when you're playing the tutorial, your person is like, when you're playing the tutorial, your person's like, I gotta build this car thingy to search the planet to, you know, see if there's any survivors. You need to build car, and then 200 steel poles, and then like 500 ammo, so I can investigate the planet. And so you'll have stuff like that, like kind of story, but in the actual game, besides the tutorial, you don't really have that kind of stuff. It's fully like, you're just on your own, building a factory, you know, beating up all the random insects that are trying to attack you, you know, building turrets, building walls, all that stuff. It's just you and your nice old factory pumping out copious amounts of pollution in the environment, causing all the insects to go completely crazy. There isn't really a story. So because of that, you know, you need something to keep people in, because they're not going to be kept in for the story. There ain't no story. You need something else. And so that's why you need to talk. You need to be able to make conversation. But I was not yet at that stage in my YouTube charisma ability. Like, I didn't have enough levels yet, charisma. I did not put enough charisma points in my like startup character. When I was making my character, dude, I didn't put enough points of charisma I get yet. You know, when I was making the unknown void cat, you know, character, I just didn't put enough. Guess I didn't spec enough points into charisma, dude. I put too much points into gaming. Nah, actually, I didn't even put enough points into gaming either. If you see my FTL videos and how many videos it took me to beat the boss, I didn't even put points in gaming anywhere. In fact, I don't know where the points I put in. I think I started with no points, no charisma, no gaming skill either. Don't got either of them. So, I don't know where my points went. But either way, what I'm saying is, I need to get more used to talking about random things, like, videos I've watched, other hobbies, other things, while simultaneously playing the game. And I just couldn't even try when I was first making this video. Like, I'm still not good now. Like, you could probably tell that. You're probably shaking your head right now being like, this guy's repeated the same thing multiple times in a row. What does he mean he's better at talking now that he's made 22 videos? Bro still can't talk, shaking my head. Like, yeah, I'm still not good at talking and doing games yet. Like, I'm getting so distracted talking. I only have 2 mines in iron right now, and I didn't even know that these guys weren't even powered on. But I'm still better than when I first made this channel. I mean, you wouldn't know because obviously you didn't see the video when my very first Factorio video I tried to make, because that thing went straight to the trash. That thing went straight to trash. It'll never see the light of day, dude. That thing got deleted instantaneously, dude. It was cringe. It was so cringe. It was so bad. Just like seeing me be like, hey guys. So today I was. What was I saying? Yeah, just like literally that was the whole video. It was just me like trying to come up with a conversation point, but then I couldn't, and so I just keep I would just be mining wood, and I'm thinking in my head like, bro, why are you still mining wood? Do something else, dude. Why are you still mining wood? You don't need this much wood right now. You can't even make power poles to use that wood. But I kept doing it because I'm also simultaneously, while I'm thinking that, I'm distracted thinking like, I gotta say something right now, dude. What am I supposed to say? I was thinking about saying something, but then I forgot 2 seconds later what I was about to say. And so that was literally the whole video. Like, maybe sometimes I'll leave the forest, go to coal, and then just start doing this for like 20 minutes. And so when that happened multiple times, like when I tried multiple times in a row, I just realized this is gonna have to be a thing I'll do in the future, which is right now. And not only is it a thing I have to do in the future, it's a thing I still gotta practice on. That's why I'm making this video, for practice. Because I know this video, it ain't gonna be like me. I knew when I was making this video, this ain't gonna, even though I've already made videos, I have a bit more experience being a YouTuber, I still know this video isn't gonna be me perfectly talking perfectly about every single thing that happened today and all of my hobbies and stuff that interested me. I'm not gonna be perfectly making conversation simultaneously while playing the game. I'm gonna get sidetracked and keep repeating the same point because I'm still not fully experienced. But I want to make that first step. You can't immediately be perfectly talking while doing the game at the same time immediately. It takes time. It takes experience. It takes you, making a few cringe Factorio videos where you're repeating the same point 10 times in a row, and then saying you're repeating the same point 10 times in a row, yet keep repeating the same point 10 times in a row, despite the fact that you literally just said that you repeat the same point 10 times in a row. It takes that to get experience. Nobody starts at the perfect talking pro. It takes a bit of time. You don't immediately start with cult leader perfect charisma immediately. I'm not gonna be able to I'm not gonna be able to immediately convince people to join my cult immediately. Not that I have one. Definitely not. But it's gonna take a bit of time. And I know it's gonna take a bit of time. That's why I'm getting started now. Because there's no better time to start than the present. Well, there is a better time to start. You could have started in the past, but it's better than starting in the future, But yeah, just to go ahead and wrap that whole discussion up now before I start repeating again. That's the whole reason why I'm starting this video. I want to play Factorio, and 2, I want to get better at talking about other things than just the game. Because I realize when I do my FTL videos, I never talk about other things. I don't think I've ever... I don't know if there's even legitimately a single FTL video where I've tried talking about other things besides the game. Like, the only thing that you could, like, technically consider as talking about something else is when I mention stuff from that channel, but that's, like, pretty close to it. Like, and the only time when on an FTL video where I was talking about something else is, like, for example, in my last FTL video was, like, saying, like, hey guys, I'll put a poll up in the community tab to, like, vote on, like, which game to do a next series on. Like, technically, when I do that, I'm talking about something else, but, you know, it's not the same, it's not what I mean. When I mean, like, talking about something else, I mean, like, you know, playing Factorio while I'm, like, talking about, like, hey, I just saw this thing recently, ain't that crazy? You know, that kind of thing. That's the kind of, like, level I'm aiming towards, because that's kind of what I want to be as a YouTuber. Like, that's the kind of thing I always thought was interesting, you know, being able to play games and having fun playing games while you're talking about stuff that interests you. That's what I want to do, and that's what I'm aiming for. That's why I'm doing this video, to get better at doing that. And so to start that, I guess I should just talk about something random. For example, what would be a good example? Recently, I went bowling, which is kind of rare for me. I don't usually go bowling very often. It's just not a thing I'd ever think about, because, like, when do you really think about bowling? I guess, like, yeah, if you're like, if you're, like, a bowling person, like a professional bowler or something, maybe you think about playing bowling every day. But for me, I don't really think about bowling. It's just like a really random thing. Also, I don't really ever come up with the idea of going bowling, because I know that because I've not gone bowling very much before, I'm quite bad at bowling. I'm definitely not a bowling pro, by no means at all. And that was very clearly shown by when I went bowling this time. Essentially what happened is I went bowling with, like, a few other people. You know, I think about, like, me, 3 other people. Yeah, what's it, 3? Yeah, it was 3 people. And so while I was doing, like, on my very first thing, I was doing decently. Like, I actually got, like, actually, it wasn't my first one, it was my second. On my very first thing, which, first, before I say it, I'll describe some of the stuff about bowling, just in case you don't really know the rules about bowling. Obviously, you know, you have, like, 12 rounds that you have to, like, knock. 12 rounds where each round you, like, I think it's 12, right? I can't remember. It's been, like, a month. You have, like, 12 rounds or so, and each round you bowl the bowling ball each round. And then you try to knock over all the pins in those 2 rounds. Preferably, you immediately knock over it in, like, the first round. Like, that's preferably what you want to do, is get, like, a perfect strike. But it's still good if you knock over all the pins in, like, 2 rounds. So that's, like, the stuff you kind of want to do. So what ended up happening for me, though, is I just kept hitting, like, the gutter. Like, every time I tried, like, my very first round, both my balls immediately gutter, immediately missed, didn't get anything. But then, like, the second round, I got what's it called when you, like, you hit nothing, and then second round you hit all the pins. Like, it's not a strike because you didn't do your first, like, thing. You're, like, your first bowling ball, you did your second bowling ball. I think it's called, like, I can't remember what it's called, but that's the thing I did. Like, what would happen is the very first bowling ball on my second round, I'd be like, nothing. Second bowling ball, perfect. Hit every single pin, and it's, like, amazing. And so it's like, oh, I've got a decent score. Like, I'm still not in first place because the other person, you know, got, like, almost every single pin both rounds. But, like, I'm doing decent. Like, I'm in second place now. And then the problem that immediately comes after that, though, is immediately after that, I hit 0 pins the next round. Not a single pin got knocked over. Not a single pin. And then what ends up, the weird thing is that after the third round where I hit no pins, the 4th round I hit almost every pin again, like I did the second round. And so I ended up having this weird pattern where, like, legitimately for 6 of the 12 rounds, I would be like, I hit nothing, not a single ball hits. Then I hit almost every pin. Then I hit nothing at all. Then I hit almost every single pin. Then I hit nothing at all. Then I hit every single pin. And so I was like, I was kind of keeping my score up. Like, I wasn't in first place. I wasn't in second place. But I wasn't in last place. Because even though I was having rounds where I was completely missing and completely messing up, I would make up for it because the round after it, I would like hit almost every single pin. The problem though is that after like 6 rounds, I stopped doing this alternating pattern of like hitting nothing, then hitting a lot, hitting nothing, hitting a lot. And so you might be thinking in your head like, okay, so maybe what happened is you just stopped hitting nothing, then hitting a lot. Maybe what happened is you like kind of averaged out, and now every round you're hitting it, but just not a lot. No, what happened is I just stopped hitting at all. Legitimately, every single round after that until the game ended, I just never hit a single pin. Legitimately, just my bowling ball would always curve straight into the gutter. Like, what would happen is like my ball would curve like super to the left. So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I have multiple like balls in a row, it curved to the left. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand more to the right when I bowl, so that if it curves to the left, I'll still hit a pin. Wrong. Immediately I do that, it immediately starts curving to the right. So I'm like, okay, it's curving to the right, I'm gonna stand to the left. Curves to the left. And then, okay, I stand to the center, still curves to the left. It curves super sharp to the left, and I still keep missing. And so I ended up having that happen each time. And so I never got a single pin after those first like 6 rounds. I literally just nothing. And the problem is the person who's in last place, the person who's in last place, like doing worse than me, they were hitting nothing for the first 6 rounds. But then they started like hitting every single round for the last 6 rounds. So I was like, oh no, I don't want to get last place. I know I'm not getting first place because a person in first place got like 100 points by the time the game ended. And when the game ended for me, I got 30 points, around 30. So I know I'm not getting first place. They were super ahead of me. I know I'm not getting second place because second place got like 70 points. Like, not as much as first place, but still way more than I got. So my only hope is like, I gotta be fourth place. I gotta keep my third place position. And so it was really worrying me when all of a sudden I just started hitting nothing and they started hitting everything. But the one golden light, the one good thing in that situation is while I was hitting nothing and they were starting to actually hit the pins every round and stop like missing every round, luckily for me, at the very least, they weren't hitting good though. Like, they were hitting, yes, unlike me who's hitting nothing, but every time they would hit like 1 or 2 pins. They would not hit very many. So this ended up leading to a situation where, despite the fact that for the last 6 rounds I hit nothing and they hit every single round, I still won 3rd place. I didn't win 1st and 2nd place, obviously, but I won 3rd place. And the sole reason why is because I got enough pins knocked over in the first 6 rounds that I was essentially safe in the last 6 rounds where I stopped hitting anything. And so I essentially got myself that guaranteed 3rd place, which isn't amazing, but you gotta get what you get, dude. You gotta settle at some point, dude. Sometimes you gotta realize, you ain't getting first place, dude. Sometimes you just ain't getting first place, especially when you're like me and you're horrible at bowling. Which honestly, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so bad at bowling, dude. Well, obviously it's because I've not played very much, but even like, I would assume that like I would get better as I was playing, because what I was assuming is like if I'm hitting most of the pins every other round, by the time I get like in the later half of the game, I was gonna think that I would start hitting the pins every round. So the fact that I got worse is like really weird. And it's really weird that so to give an example, a comparison between 2 different games and my 2 different skills, like for some reason I've also done throwing hatchets, which you like get an axe, you throw it across the room and hit a target. For some reason, that's like way easier than bowling. Like, it's not easy. It's like let's not like start kidding ourselves and think that I'm like a pro hitting those bullseyes with the axe across the room. But I could at least hit the target. In fact, I was hitting the target pretty often. Like, I pretty often, pull the axe behind me, flank it, I'd hit the target. Not good. I'd hit, like, the bottom of the target. But sometimes I'd hit near the center of the target. So, like, I was doing decently good. Versus bowling, where half the time I couldn't even hit. So I'm, like, kind of wondering, like, man, how is throwing hatchets easier than bowling? Like, you feel like rolling a ball down, like, a slippery path to hit, like, a bunch of pins would be easier than, like, throwing a hatchet across the room to hit, like, a target. Like, you feel like that would be a lot harder, but somehow it wasn't, which is strange. But that also could just be because I'm weak and I couldn't hold the bowling ball very well. I'm telling you, dude, that bowling ball was heavy, dude. That might just be because of my strength level, but like that. What was the bowling ball? It was like a 12-pound bowling ball. That 12-pound bowling ball was kind of like, I had to hold that thing with 2 hands before I started bowling, dude. That sounds sad, but that's just reality of it, dude. Maybe the reason why throwing axes was a lot easier is because axes don't weigh as much as the 12-pound bowling ball. But yeah, that's my bowling story. It didn't go great, but it didn't go horrendous, which is amazing because I was honestly going into it expecting that it just wasn't gonna go good at all, dude. Because I've played bowling before that time. Like, I've literally had times. I think the time that I bowled before that last time I bowled, I've had a time where I literally went the entire time bowling and never hit the pins but a single time. Legitimately, I've done that before. So I was kind of going into it being like, this is gonna be bad. Like, I knew I'm not good at bowling, so I was fully expecting that I wasn't gonna be doing good. So honestly, 3rd place is better than what I thought. And it was all thanks to having somebody equally as bad as me at bowling, Let's be honest. I wouldn't have gotten that 3rd place and worked for somebody else playing that also never plays bowling just like me. That's honestly the only reason why I got 3rd place. But it was still fun. It was still fun despite that. Well, it was fun when I bowled the ball. It wasn't fun exactly when I bowled the ball, hit nothing, and then sat down for like 5 minutes watching everybody else bowl the ball, and then watching like the person in first place be like, I only hit like 90% of the 99% of the pins, dude. I missed 1 pin. Like, when I saw that, I was like, man, I wish I could hit 1 pin, dude. I wish I was hitting 1 pin. I wish my ball wasn't immediately curving into the gutter. But I still got 3rd place. But another thing that kind of reminds me of is crane games. What do I mean by crane games? I mean the fact that I'm bad at crane games, which honestly not as bad as being at bowling, because everybody knows crane games are a scam, dude. They're a scam. I swear, dude. Like, I'll go to an arcade, and I'll do crane games, and I'm like, I'm never gonna do crane games again, dude. They're a scam. They never work. And they'll come back to arcade like a year later or so, and I'll do it again, despite the fact that I know in the back of my head, dude, I'm wasting $2-3 on this, dude. What am I doing? Why am I doing this crane game? Because the problem is, it's not as bad for certain crane games, but for example, the crane games that have big stuffed animals or whatever, those kind of crane games, so, the big claw, big stuffed animal, those are straight up scams, dude. Because what happens is you get the perfect claw, you're looking at the front, getting your x-axis set up, then you go to the side of the machine, you're getting your y-axis set up, you're getting your z-axis, whatever, you're perfectly setting it up. It literally looks like it's you're looking like you're a master, you're looking like you're a plane operator trying to line up a plane or something, you're doing some Tetris, you're perfectly lining the crane up. Literally looks like it's straight above the thing. You drop it, it gives you the most perfect grab on the stuffed animal. That crane goes fully over the stuffed animal, and you're like, this is it. finally I won a crane game. And then right as you do it, boom, it drops it. Despite having what looks like the god grab. Like, it looks like it had the most perfect, godly grab. Like, the best grab you've ever seen on that stuffed animal. And the thing just, boop, just lets it go. Like, that thing, bro, it, like the crane has arthritis. It just drops the thing. It, like, literally, despite the fact that, like, you had a perfect grab on that thing, it just lets go of the stuffed animal. And so I'm like, whenever that happens, I'm just like, what? What you mean? I literally spent, like, to the last second, like, right before the crane game was gonna, like, automatically drop the thing, I spent all that time, like, barely nudging the crane over to try to get the pixel perfect, best thing, like, perfect positioning on the crane, just for it to drop down, grab it, and be like, not today, bub. Not today, buddy. Not today. We're not doing it today, you know. My wrist kind of hurts today, you know. I kind of strained it a bit. I'm not doing this today. Like, it's crazy when that happens. Because you're just, like, sighing. You're just like, oh my god. How could this even happen? How? How is this even real? How could it happen at all? Oh, I need my copper. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about copper being a thing. Let me go do that. But that's my crane game experiences, dude. Everybody knows cranes are a scam, though. So it's not like some breaking news. The only crane that isn't a scam is, like, I had this one crane that was on my arcade. Like, it wasn't a stuffed animal crane. It was like this crane that had, like, these you know, arcades, like, when they have, like, those spiky, like, those balls have, like, those, like the plastic rubber ball, whatever, that have, like, the kind of, like, rubber spike things on it or whatever. Like, you know those. I had, like, there's a crane game that just had, like, all of that. Just, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what is this? No, why are there so many people right here? Oh, no, I don't have enough ammo. I don't have enough ammo. Huh. That might mean I'm dead. Well, you know what I meant when I said we're gonna be restarting, because this is a hardcore. I'm not gonna, like, I could technically hit respawn, but I'm not gonna do that because that's cheating, dude. If I die, this is it. This is a hardcore thing. So that's it, dude. We're leaving. Bye. Nope. Ain't happening. Guess that's gonna be the end of the video, I guess. But before I end this video, just like for somebody, the people who are interested in the story and what's meaning, is there's a ball game, like not the crane game, had these spiky rubber balls, and whenever you would grab it, the crane would literally move itself onto it. Like, it would literally, like, auto aim onto the thing, essentially. Like, it would always get a ball, and easily. Like, it was so easy compared to other crane games. It was like a guaranteed win. Like, I literally went out that arcade with, like, 5 of these rubber balls with, like, a bunch of different colors. And honestly, like, the only problem with it is, like, what do you need with, like, 5 rubber balls? Like, at least with, like, stuffed animals, they're cute. And, like, there's different types. Like, what do you need with, like, 5 different spiky rubber balls? Like, all you're gonna do is, like, throw it in, like, a random drawer or something and forget about it a month later. Which is what happened to it. But yeah, that's the end of that story. And also, the end of this video, because I died. And that means I'm deleting this thing. Because this gonna be hardcore, dude. This ain't gonna be no, I died to the super strong swarm, guess I respawn. Like, nah, this is gonna be hardcore. That's why I said, like, you know, we're gonna be restarting a lot of times. You know, this playthrough is gonna take a long time early in this video, because I ain't gonna just be respawning. We die. Well, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and bye. Hopefully next video we actually make a fully automated conveyor belt system where the coal actually feeds into the mines, because I never actually did that. I didn't even get power set up because I was busy talking about bowling. Bye.